Morning Blitz begins now.
Oh, good morning, 6:07. And, Kid Rock's not wrong. He's not wrong about any of that. Why is it on a Tuesday?
Kid Rock.
Chris Rock.
I'm like so
Chris Rock. Yeah, sorry about that.
I actually know why it's on a Tuesday in November.
Oh, is that right?
Back in the 1800s.
Oh, my God.
Back when most of the population who was voting were farmers. Basically, Sunday was church. They needed a travel day to go to their polling place.
Oh, wow.
And in the beginning of November, the harvest was over. Wednesday was usually market day, so they wedged it in there in a Tuesday.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
they've never changed it since.
Now that's something to think about. What you said there that stuck out to me the most is they needed a travel day to go to the polling place.
Yes, and
They had
some
to
of their
hook up the horses and
They lived out in the rural areas. They had to go into town.
oh my gosh, we got to vote tomorrow.
A trip.
Well, it's already 10 a.m. on Monday. We got to get a move on.
If we're going to walk there and get there by sunset.
Wow, thank you, Kelly. That's a good one. I had no idea.
I just read that this morning.
Is that right?
It was interesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe if you sound like you knew that for a long time.
That was not in my memory bank. No, I just read it this morning.
That was great. Oh my gosh. All right, so if I ask you right now, we'll be
I'm
right
not
here.
telling you who I'm voting for.
No.
Okay.
We'll be right back here. We'll be here tomorrow morning, 24 hours from now. Do you believe we will have a clear-cut winner when you get here tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Okay. I hope you're right.
Now, the polling so far is extraordinarily close, so I may be way off in my idea, but I have a firm feeling in my gut that we will have a president by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Now, I'll admit it. If I'm way off, I'm way off. But that's just my feeling.
I saw a thing that the polling's a bunch of BS and they keep it close to get people to vote.
Well,
and that's just one story. I don't know.
Do you know who Nate Silver is?
Yeah.
Okay. So Nate Silver, very famous and experienced pollster. Mm-hmm. I think he founded 538. But he is not with 538 anymore. Anywho, over the weekend, Nate Silver said that the fact that all of these polls are within 1 or 2% of each other, he said that is absolutely a statistical improbability.
That's what, yeah. Maybe it was him I was listening to.
Nearly an impossibility, but it's like 1 in 90 billion chance that all of these polls would come out the exact same. In fact, it's not even covering the margin of error, which is usually around plus or minus 3 percentage points, so that we should regularly be seeing polls where the two candidates are 6 points apart.
Oh,
that
really?
should really be in there
then
quite a bit.
Maybe that story was true. Maybe it's not as close.
Yeah,
as
he was
all
saying
these.
maybe about 55% of the polling could potentially be that close. But 90% or 80% or whatever it is, he thinks that's an improbability, that we're not, that these polls, they can be weighted by the polling companies in a way that favors whoever they want to favor. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think we're going to have a president by tomorrow morning. I also felt like
without controversy, please.
I also felt like I was very sure that the ice cream I ate for lunch yesterday was not going to wreck my stomach, and I was wrong about that. So, it's always a gut feeling, and your gut's not always right.
Oh, my gosh.
I ate this triple brownie chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
So was it worth it?
I could not stop. It was absolutely worth it. In fact, I was thinking I'll probably do it again today.
I had moose tracks last night.
What, like moose tracks?
Good
Is it
stuff.
the private selection?
No, it's the Giant Eagle brand, and it's
That's
reduced.
what Kroger. I think Kroger's private selection.
Well, this
so it
one's
must be Giant Eagle's brand.
It's reduced fat.
Oh, reduced fat.
Yeah.
Boo.
Oh no, that's the thing. It's that good.
I need the full fats.
I can't do that.
Does it hurt your stomach?
I can only do full fat once a week.
Oh, that's your Sunday or Saturday dinner.
Saturday dinner is
full fat ice cream.
Fat ice cream.
I love it. You got to have the fat for the brain to work right.
But yeah, during the week, a little bowl of
Little bowl, low fat
moose
All
track.
right.
But the moose tracks, man, it's so good. And I recommend it, man. Giant Eagle reduced fat moose tracks ice cream is amazing.
Okay, good tip.
Don't know why, but I like it. All right, we have more tickets to see Jerry Cantrell today. We've got more tickets to see Theo Von today. We'll give you a chance to win the Jerry Cantrell tickets right after Kelly's 7 o'clock news. First, we've got Morning Blitz trivia and $25 up for grabs to waterbeds and stuff if you're the first person to text in the correct answer at 99700. Tom Cruise is in talks to make a sequel to which one of his movies?
Oh.
There's only been one, and he's in talks to make a sequel to this movie. Tell us what Tom Cruise movie it is at 99700. If you're first, you will get that gift card. Five Finger Death Punch on the Morning Blitz, 624 with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick. Our Morning Blitz trivia question. Tom Cruise is in talks to make a sequel to which one of his movies? I didn't think this would come around again, but the answer is Days of Thunder.
Oh, that feels... Wait, is that the spoofy one?
No, that's the race car. He was a race car driver.
Oh, okay. What's the one I'm thinking of? Where they did like blackface and stuff like that. Tropic Thunder.
Oh, Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Okay.
No, very, very different movie, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude. I think that's how he said it. That's a hilarious, great movie. Huge cast. Love Tropic Thunder. I would rather see a sequel to Tropic Thunder than Days of Thunder.
Okay.
I don't know. That's like 1990.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's a NASCAR driver.
Okay, I've never seen it.
Cole Trickle. That's who Tom Cruise was. Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, and he's also involved in discussions about returning. And it was also Paul Newman.
Okay.
Paul Newman, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you've never seen Days of Thunder?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's funny because we did a movie premiere at 92X.
Yeah?
And I guess you didn't make it.
Apparently not.
Yes, I remember that music. It's always playing. There's increased interest in it. It when it first came out, didn't have great reviews, but I guess over the years it's gained a bunch of appreciation.
Okay.
You know, it didn't have a huge box office by Tom Cruise standards. You know, I'm sure he did just fine. But so Paramount will do it, and
Tom Cruise was in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, he was in it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Right,
he was in it.
Days of Thunder is what I want. All right. Days.
Again, I'd definitely rather have
Tropic
a sequel
Thunder.
to Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
I didn't know anybody was like, I understand doing a sequel to Top Gun.
Yeah. All right, so Tom Cruise was in Days of Thunder with Nicole Kidman, of course, his former wife. Speaking of Nicole Kidman, you told me to watch The Perfect Marriage.
Perfect Couple.
Perfect Couple. I started watching it, and I'm like, I know the story. I read the book some years ago.
Okay.
Not that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with it. I couldn't go to bed. I was like,
you're binging?
I need to shut off my eye. I was like watching it on my iPad in bed. And I think I have about, a half hour left in the last episode. It's pretty good.
Quality show. Yeah,
Quality show.
6 episodes? It's one season. There won't be another one. And great cast and great writing and great acting. And
the acting is superb.
Yeah.
Superb.
That's how I always say. I don't care what it is. If it's got great acting and great writing, I'm in. And it's got both. So, and that's on Netflix, right?
Netflix, yes.
Perfect Couple on Netflix.
It's good.
Really good show. How many episodes have you seen?
I'm halfway through the 6th. So I'm almost done.
You're almost done.
I'm almost done.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
How do you cut out in the middle of the season finale?
Well, because it was getting late, Thick, and I was getting tired. And I thought, you know what? Why jam through this? I want to enjoy it. And so let me just pick it up on Tuesday, Election Day. It'll keep my mind off things. And, I've got a good 30 minutes left of great TV to watch.
All right. Oh, that's funny. I just finished Daryl Dixon, the new second season of
Oh,
Daryl
how's
Dixon.
that?
It's fantastic.
Yeah?
It was so good.
I don't know, and I need people to text because you are the only person I know who still watches Walking Dead shows.
Oh, really?
I know people do, or they wouldn't be making
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And they're so popular.
And what do you want to know?
Is anybody else watching?
Oh, besides me? Oh, it's so good. Well, Carol's back.
Oh, Carol's back.
Carol made it over to Paris with
I'm glad she's still hanging in there. I love Carol.
Yeah.
Carol and Daryl. Did they ever get together?
Not like romantically.
Together.
No.
All right.
No.
Just
I
checking.
keep thinking it's going to happen, but it hasn't.
Hot older
happened.
woman? I don't know.
They clearly are,
Grimy motorcycle stud.
they are definitely very close, but not in that way.
All right.
Not yet, anyway. I don't know, maybe next.
Hang
season.
in there. Maybe in the next spinoff.
All right. Well, Levi from Kingston was the first one to text in the correct answer, so he scores $25 to head over to Waterbeds and stuff.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
Oh, this dummy's got something.
All
for
right,
you,
what
Kelly.
is it?
This is all about Michael Jackson and Eddie Van Halen
Oh.
and the song "Beat It." Beat it.
Love it.
It's a pretty famous guitar solo in this song from the 80s. And when Quincy Jones called and asked Eddie Van Halen if he'd play the solo, Eddie basically told him to beat it.
Really?
Yeah. In a 2012 CNN interview, Van Halen said he thought it was a prank. That's why. And then he arrived at the studio the next day, and when he got there was Quincy, and there was Michael Jackson and their engineers. And they gave Eddie total control over the solo, so he took advantage. And they had one, arranged, and Eddie had the engineer rearrange a whole section of the song. And before Michael listened to the solo, Eddie warned him that he made some changes. And then Michael listened to it, and of course, here it is.
So good. I
was
wonder
a-
what the original was supposed to be.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
wonder what he changed it from. That
I
is
have no
incredible.
idea. It was a weird thing for that on pop stations back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
let it play.
That's really wild.
And then after listening to it, Michael thanked Eddie Van Halen for having the passion to actually care about the song and make it better.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's a true collab.
Yeah, Michael loved it, and #1 hit on Billboard, staple on album rock radio during spring and summer of 1983.
Man.
I didn't feel like it was that old,
Yeah.
but yeah, 83.
83.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, I got something.
All right.
Something as we're gearing up to really start hardcore shopping online. None of the retailers really talk about this, but it is something you may have experienced in your online shopping. I have experienced it, and I think we've touched on it in the past a little bit, but they're called returnless refunds. Sometimes you will be given a full refund without having to return the item. Basically, if it's not worth it for a retailer to pay shipping fees and other costs associated with the return, like processing time and restocking, etc., and it'll keep the customer happy, they'll just say, we'll give you a full refund, you can keep it, do whatever you want with it.
It's never happened to me in my life.
Okay, this has happened, and I think I told the story, is that we bought some artwork, canvas artwork, to hang in our guest bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
And it just didn't come out right. The colors were a little off, and it just didn't look like sort of what we were seeing online versus the reality. It was just sort of off, and we were like, I think we'll return it and maybe buy something else. And they said, you can keep it, but we want you to cut a hole in the middle of it, like 2 inch by 2 inch. Just so we know that you're, not trying to scam us. So destroy it, but you can also keep it, and we'll give you a refund. So we did. and showed him a picture of the whole big hole in the middle of it. But then we put the canvas back. We put that little 2-inch by 2-inch back in there and still hung it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But I thought you didn't like it.
We don't really like it.
You like it better when
to
it's
this
free,
day.
but when it's free.
And also the little piece in the middle has shrunk a little bit, so now you can kind of tell. So we do need to replace it at this point, but that's not exactly a returnless refund. A returnless refund, though, would be that where they just let you keep the product. So it only happens sporadically, and there are some companies that are known to just every now and again participate in this practice. Amazon, Walmart, Target, Wayfair, Shein, and Temu, to name a few. They pretty much reserve this option for low-cost items with limited resale value when it's just like it's not worth it. Just keep the T-shirt, all right? We're not going to spend the money getting that thing back. But not always. There's a woman who was quoted in this article I read. Her name's Dahlia Harrell. She says she spent about $300 on Amazon for a desk, but it was missing some key pieces, so she couldn't really put it together. So she requested a refund from Amazon, and Amazon's like, yeah, we'll give you your money back. Just keep it. Just keep it. So she was so thankful that she didn't have to haul this thing back to the post office, and she used the pieces of the desk to create her own shelves in her office. So it ended up kind of working out for her, and she got all her money back. So I don't know if it's ever happened to anybody, a returnless refund, but I am in favor of that, especially when you're being honest and legitimate. You really don't want it, or it's wrong for you or whatever, and they're just like, keep it. Here's your money back, keep it. Ken just texted in, I bought a mattress from Amazon. It was absolutely horrible, and when I went to return it, they said just keep it and send his money back. A mattress, those ain't cheap. You know?
No, not at all.
Tiffany bought a toilet snake that was never used. She bought it from Amazon. She just wanted to send it back, but they didn't want it. They gave her her money back.
Oh, my gosh.
Tommy said he got a 65-inch TV from Amazon like that. Tried to return it, and they told him to keep it. What? Anyway, that's wild,
why
guys.
Did this ever happen to me?
Yeah, and they, like I said, it's very sporadic. They don't always do it. So most of the times they make you return it. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, Will says, as crazy as it sounds, I had the same thing happen with Microsoft back when the Xbox 360 first came out. Microsoft gave him a returnless refund.
On an Xbox 360?
I don't know if I guess.
Did it work? Or did you just decide you didn't want it?
I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, I love all that. Asking Alexandria on the Morning Blitz. It is 6:48. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, Election Day, and don't disagree with Martha Stewart. I found out I always say don't disagree with Kelly Quinn.
Yes, yeah.
You will find yourself in a world of hurt. Obviously not that bad.
I can be.
Oh, I was talking about Martha. She was on something called the Rent-Free Game Show. You ever heard of that?
Never heard of
that. What is the Rent-Free Game Show?
No idea.
And she was discussing celebrities who are fun to hang out with.
We asked Built members what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with.
I'm sure Snoop Dogg's on the list. Oh, number 3. Let's see. He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Really?
No, he's not so funny. He's very serious. Brad Pitt, George Clooney. See, I'd like to hang out with those guys.
So Ryan Reynolds heard that, you know.
Okay.
And so they asked Ryan Reynolds what he thought about her, saying that he's not that funny in real life. And he said, I don't disagree with Martha. I tried that once. The woman is unexpectedly spry. She really closed the gap after a mile or so. She's chasing him down. But the best part was after all of that, then Hugh Jackman came out and said, finally someone said it, that he's not funny in real life.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's great.
You've been around people who are just always really serious, and kind of every conversation devolves into some like heavy duty topic, and it's like, good night.
Oh yeah.
I need a breather from this person.
I've actually told people, hey, man, do you ever think about asking Santa Claus for a sense of humor for Christmas?
Well, come right out and say it.
Well, I mean, it's like, why do you have to be so serious all the time?
Sometimes I am like that. Sometimes, like, if we're having, like a conversation, it's just meant to be funny. There's, like, a little something that I just can't let go in my brain, and I'm like a well, actually person. Well, actually. I hate that about myself.
I've never noticed that all these
good.
years.
I mean, sometimes I have to tell myself in my own brain to lighten up.
Well, I mean, there is a time to be serious. You know, I get it. I didn't, you know.
I'd rather laugh. Trust me, I'd rather laugh.
For sure. You know, we have an election going on.
Yeah.
Today's election day. Got to be serious. Got to get out and vote.
Yeah, be serious with your vote, and then let's laugh the rest of the day.
Well, could they get serious with the candidates if they want me to be serious with my vote? We have 350 million people in this country.
I think it's a little late for that,
Well,
Vic.
no,
I think
I know.
you got two people to choose from. They have to make a choice.
But there's other people you can vote for, right? Even though none of them will win. I always love that. I'm not voting for either one of them. I'm going to vote for somebody else. So you're really voting for one of them then. Because why vote? You know one of them is going to win, no matter what these other people... I mean, what's his name is still on the ballot in a few states, and he didn't even want to be anymore. Junior.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't take him off. He's like, I'm not running. I'm not going to be president. But they won't take him off the ballot. Why is that?
I don't know, laws about when and how you can get on and off a ballot. I don't know. I understand if people aren't happy with either choice and decide to forego their vote on that particular one. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
Just vote your conscience or whatever they say, not to be trite. And if you really can't stomach picking one of the two presidential candidates, then don't.
Right.
You know, vote for, like I said, we have a very important race for senator going on.
Yeah.
You know, your down ballot issues are important as well, and I would argue maybe even more important to your local community. So,
well, you if you don't have a car, you know, and you want to get to the polls, Lyft and Uber are offering discounts on rides.
Very nice.
Yeah. So if you want to do that. It says you'll be able to get 50% off your trip by clicking the Go Vote title within the app. Lyft users will also be able to take half off with ride code VOTE24. So, Uber Eats is offering discounts on food delivery after 6 o'clock as well, because people got out to vote, didn't have a chance to get to the grocery store, get stuff for dinner, so Uber Eats will give you a discount on food delivery after 6 today. There you go, and I would imagine we've got some election news coming up here.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Well, Election Day is finally here. Polls are open now. They stay open until 7:30 p.m. Remember, you do have to have an ID to vote. And if you need to double check your voting status or your polling place, just go online to the Ohio Secretary of State's website and you will find out everything there. Ohio law has long prohibited voters from wearing clothing or displaying material directly stumping for or against a candidate or issue in the neutral zone around a polling location marked by American flags.
Really?
Yeah, so you're not allowed to wear a big T-shirt that says Kamala Harris
Can't
or
wear a MAGA
Donald
hat.
Trump. MAGA hat's different.
Oh, really?
Now, as long as, and this was just ruled on by the Secretary of State, but up to this point, if you have had any clothing item like a hat or a T-shirt with the name of one of the candidates on it, you've been asked to remove it or turn your shirt inside out.
MAGA's not a name.
However, if the shirt or hat has a slogan on it and doesn't directly name the candidate, like Donald Trump's Make America Great Again or Kamala Harris's We're Not Going Back, you can wear those T-shirts or hats or clothing items, whatever.
So if I had a shirt on that said I grew up in a middle-class family and cared about my lawn, I'm okay?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. As long as you don't have Kamala Harris's name on your shirt, you are allowed to wear it. You cannot be asked to take it off. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose says as long as the slogan is without the name of the the candidate, it absolutely is allowed.
So it's not a football game. You can't wear your team jersey.
You cannot. No, you can't. I guess you can wear your team colors.
I honestly,
and there are team colors, are there not?
Yeah,
blue and red.
But I honestly didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's the first I heard of that.
Yeah, well, he just had to make a determination on that because people were asking.
I didn't remember a lot where people, now it's more common now, but I never used to, when I think back to Bush and stuff like that, I didn't see people wearing clothing.
Yeah, you'll know, and if you early voted or if you go to your polling place today, there are people who can hand out sample ballots. If you're a Democrat or a Republican, they have the candidates who they want you to vote for, but they have to be a certain number of feet away from the front door and outside those American flags. I think it's like 100 feet or something.
Right.
Also, if the line to vote extends beyond the American flags, you cannot be within 10 feet of somebody and try to hand them anything or influence their decisions.
I also feel like all those people aren't allowed within 500 feet of a school, but,
Well, I don't know. People are pretty passionate about their politics. A spa owner in Massachusetts is in huge trouble, accused of, number one, posing as a nurse when she injected clients with fake Botox and fake filler.
Ew.
Federal prosecutors say 38-year-old Rebecca Fadnally imported fake Botox, fake Sculptra, and fake Juvederm from China and Brazil between March of 2021 and this year. She completed approximately 2,700 treatments of Botox and filler, totaling just shy of $1 million. All right. A client back in 2022 complained after receiving injections from Fadnally that left her with bumps in her lips and a tingling forehead. So apparently, through an investigation, she was actually caught at Logan Airport in Boston, returning from Brazil with all these illegal products. She was arrested. She was apparently buying fake Botox on Alibaba for $50.
Well,
the price for real Botox is about $650 a vial.
I mean, you're not getting
$50, and she was injecting this into people.
What did you think?
So, but they didn't know. I mean, people thought she was a real nurse and giving them real, legitimate injections of Botox. So she's been charged with illegally importing merchandise and selling or dispensing a counterfeit drug. And those are your three things.
That's crazy. Pop Evil on the Morning Blitz. It is 7:07 with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick, and we have got your tickets to see Jerry Cantrell. Jerry is coming to the Bluestone Tuesday, February 18th. Jerry, of course, from Alice in Chains, bringing the band Filter with him. Tickets are on sale at live@thebluestone.com. But if you would like to win a pair of tickets, you need to listen this hour for Soundgarden Fell on Black Days. When you hear Fell on Black Days start playing, you start calling 1-800-821-9970. And if you are caller number 9, we're going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to that show. And again, that will happen before 8 o'clock. Election day today, your forecast, not bad. Partly cloudy and a high 80. I mean, sitting here on November 5th, and we might break a record today.
That's wild.
Yeah, so.
It's great.
Speaking of Election Day, we've had many of them and many presidents in the past. And Kelly, you got some great facts here for us.
All right. Let's start out with, since we may or may not get our new president may be one of only 2 people to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. All right. Grover Cleveland right now is the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Trump could be the second.
Oh, okay. So he served and he lost and he won.
Exactly. So Grover Cleveland is both our 22nd and 24th president. And in between then was Benjamin Harrison. Now, Grover Cleveland, during his second term, this was a super secret surgery that he had. He had most of his upper left jaw removed after doctors discovered cancer. And so it was like completely a secret thing. Nobody knew it was happening. He has most of his upper left jaw removed. And then he was able to address Congress shortly after, but apparently lost a lot of his vim and vigor after that surgery.
Wow.
All right. Speaking of Benjamin Harrison, who was the president in between Grover Cleveland's terms, he was in office when electric lighting was installed in the White House in 1891. And he and his wife, Caroline, were so afraid of electricity that they made their staff turn the lights on and off for them. They wouldn't touch it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, they were like, no thank you. I'll bring the staff in to turn the lights off and on. So that's pretty wild. According to an exhaustive biography on Lyndon B. Johnson, our 36th president, he was not remotely shy about his bodily functions or his private parts.
What?
Now, the story goes, if he needed to pee, and he was, say, in the parking lot of the U.S. House Office building, he would whip it out. He'd whip out his wee-wee, which he apparently called Jumbo, and took a whiz right there in the parking lot in front of everyone. And he was even known to give dictation to staffers while dropping a deuce in his private office toilet.
What?
Yes.
No.
Swear.
What is this guy?
This was, like I said, according to an exhaustive biography on Lyndon B. Johnson. Calvin Coolidge, who was our 30th president, had a very weird breakfast time ritual. He liked to eat a bowl of boiled wheat and rye while a servant massaged his scalp with Vaseline. And he thought it had big health benefits, so his servant would slather Vaseline on his scalp during breakfast every single morning.
And did it help?
I don't really know. I guess maybe he had a luxurious, shiny scalp. I'll tell you that much. Andrew Jackson, our 7th president, had a pet parrot named Poll. And Poll, P-O-L-L, like the polling place is Poll. He apparently taught Poll to cuss up a storm. And at Andrew Jackson's funeral, of course, his beloved parrot was there, Poll. But Poll was swearing so profusely that they had to remove him from the funeral service. All right, and then let me tell you this one. There's a story out there about William Taft, our 27th president. Also our largest president, once tipping the scales at about 350. He is said to have, legend says, got stuck in a bathtub and had to be pried out by 4 men who used a pound of butter to grease the way. Now, this particular claim was made by a longtime White House usher in his own autobiography, but there is plenty of evidence that William Taft did have oversized bathtubs made for him. And apparently the reason was because he got stuck once.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there are all kinds of these stories, and they're really funny, but those are the best ones I could find.
I got some audio of the parrot.
Okay, yeah.
That's my pen! That's my pen!
Oh.
What the hell's going on? What the hell?
Yes.
That's
all right,
great.
there you go.
All right. I like it. That's good stuff.
John Quincy Adams, our 6th, known for skinny dipping.
Wait, do you have more?
Yeah, Gerald Ford.
Oh, no, wait. I want to come back and get more of these.
Oh, do
These
you?
are great. Yeah.
Oh, I got a few more.
I got some other, also some other election stuff. People are having watch parties tonight. I mean, we need today off. This needs to be a holiday. We got to come back to this stuff. It is the Morning Blitz, 7:23 with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick on Election Day. And according to the Smashing Pumpkins, today is the greatest day.
How about that?
Although, Kelly, 38% of people in America disagree with you. They think it is unlikely. See, they don't know. They're not supposed to disagree with you, but they think it is unlikely that we will know a clear-cut winner 24 hours from now.
That's only 38%. So most people agree with me.
No, well, yeah, there you go. See, you are a glass half full person.
Well, I mean, it's just stats.
Right.
I mean, actually, I guess maybe most people could have no opinion.
Well, that's true. They may think, I don't know, because there's a percent that say yes, a percent that say no, and a percentage that say I'm not sure.
Listen, my prediction's based on a gut feeling. It's not It's not based on anything other than that.
Believe me.
Who knows?
If there was ever a time for you to be right, let this be it.
Yeah, just be done with it. Let's be done with it.
So you got some more of these cool facts.
I do. Okay, so we talked about Andrew Jackson, the 7th president of the United States, who had that. He taught his parrot to cuss, and it was like cussing so bad during Andrew Jackson's funeral, they had to kick the parrot out.
Right.
Well, Andrew Jackson also loved to fight people.
Yeah.
He was involved in an estimated 100 duels.
Yeah.
Usually because someone said something negative about his wife. He was sick of people talking his wife.
What?
So he got in a ton of duels. In 1806, he was shot in the chest during one of the duels, and in 1813, he took a bullet to the arm in a bar fight with a senator. What are people saying about his wife?
That's what I want to know. What was? I mean, was there something wrong with her, or they just knew it would rile him up? Maybe.
No, I don't know.
Why
Were
are
they calling her a tart? Were they calling her a
tart?
A hussy?
It's so funny though. You think about our government now, and you're talking about a time here where senators were in bars with guns.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. After William Henry Harrison's untimely death, he was in office. He died. I think he caught a cold and then it moved to pneumonia and he died in office, right? So his vice president, John Tyler, became president. Everyone hated him so much. Hated him. He was expelled from his own party during his presidency. His entire cabinet, minus one person, resigned over his policies. And he was the first president who faced impeachment. One newspaper editor called him a poor, miserable, despised imbecile. The New York Times called him the most unpopular public man that had ever held any office in the United States. And in his own, this was in his own obituary that he was called this. And then upon his death, upon John Tyler's death, Abraham Lincoln did not issue a mourning proclamation. Flags were not placed at half-mast. Like, this guy was hated. Absolutely hated.
Wow.
James Polk, a massive party pooper. You could not drink booze, you could not play cards, and you could not dance when you were at the White House. He banned all of it.
Oh.
Super party pooper.
Okay.
About the opposite of that, Franklin Pierce, our 14th president, reportedly had a huge drinking problem and died from cirrhosis of the liver in 1869. He also reportedly ran down a woman while on horseback while he was drunk. What? Yes, he was drunk riding a horse and ran over some woman.
How the hell did these people build this country?
Crazy. John Quincy Adams, our 6th president, was known for skinny dipping in the Potomac. He would wake up at like 4 a.m. and go skinny dipping. Loved to do that. Number 38, Gerald Ford was assigned model with the John Robert Powers agency. He signed with another agency after that. He was featured as a model. This was before politics, on the cover of Cosmopolitan. He was in Navy uniform, giving a little smoochy smooch to his then girlfriend, I guess. Also, you probably know this, Gerald Ford played linebacker for the University of Michigan. Helped the team to 2 undefeated seasons and national titles in both 1932 and 1933.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
I guess those 2 teams were, though.
Just quickly, founding father Thomas Jefferson, our 3rd president, was an excellent writer, as evidenced by the Declaration of Independence. But he reportedly suffered from such crippling stage fright. When he was a lawyer, he could hardly present cases. He was so nervous to speak. And from what scholars say about Thomas Jefferson, he may have only ever delivered 2 speeches during his presidency, his 2 presidential inaugural addresses. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Wild, huh?
Yeah.
They're just like us, aren't they?
They are,
crippling, crippling stage frights. Yes. Anyway, that's all I got.
That's great. Yeah.
Unless you want to know that George Washington's teeth, obviously, we all know they weren't really made of wood. They were probably just stained with wine, and so they kind of look like wood. But they were made of hippopotamus ivory, bone, animal and human teeth, lead, brass screws, and gold wire.
Why they just try to get as many things in there as possible?
Yeah.
I mean, what is all that?
Must have been so... Can you imagine how poisoned his blood was? Good night.
So just anybody in Bliss Nation, are you guys, does anybody go to a watch party? Because 10% of America is attending an election watch party tonight. I just wonder if anybody out there was
if they close
that.
the polls like they should at 3 p.m. so I could get some results before I go to bed, that would be great. Maybe we could put that in the Constitution next.
45% of people say they will just watch it alone, possibly in the dark with a generous supply of their favorite comfort food or adult beverage.
I can see that's kind of nerve-wracking. You want your person to win.
Democrats are more at a watch party. Republicans more likely to watch alone. 35%, which I guess is the rest, will just watch with friends and family members. Also, possibly in the dark with
How
a lot
will
of
you
adult
watch?
beverages.
I mean, I
can't stay up
Likely
that
we won't
late.
stay up, but you'll watch returns. I'm
I'll
sure.
watch some. I'll
Yeah.
just flip around, see what
Yeah.
everybody's
You aren't
saying.
having people over.
I just can't sit there and watch for hours.
You're not doing wings and pizza.
No.
and inviting friends. and all
No,
that.
subs.
Yeah.
Subs and weed.
Subs and weed.
$7:39. It's the Morning Blitz. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, Soundgarden there with Fell on Black Days. That was the song you were listening for. And Mike Donahue from Marion was the ninth caller when he heard it. So Mike's got tickets to see Jerry Cantrell with special guest Filter at the Bluestone Tuesday, February 18th. Those tickets are on sale now. You can get them at live@thebluestone.com. And we'll have more tickets to give away the rest of the week. So another chance to win tomorrow. We still got Theo Von tickets. He's going to be here in 9 days playing the Shot on November 14th. So
I didn't know much about that guy, but I always see his little like TikToks or whatever that somebody makes, just his little quips.
Yeah.
Does he play dumb, but he's just super funny dumb or something? Is that sort of his shtick? I can't.
I know. I don't know for sure. I mean, he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You know, that is his job.
But
He
he's
is a
always just
comedian.
kind of like, I just.
But man, he
I
gets
never
interviews.
knew. Yeah, he does.
He interviewed Trump.
I think so.
Yeah, he did. I remember he interviewed Trump. But he gets interviews with everybody. You know, like kind of like Rogan.
Yeah,
like big names.
He comes off as. I mean, he's really funny. I've never really seen a stand-up.
I hope he's a comedian. He better be. Maybe the podcast is his second job. I don't know. But yeah, no, I definitely want to go see him. He's very entertaining. All right, so anyway, we'll hook you up with those coming up at just after 8 o'clock to see tickets to Theo Von. I don't know what kind of drama people have in their workplace when it comes to politics. I'm sure there's plenty of it out there. I got to imagine, right? I mean, you would think that there's like probably arguments break out or whatever in different places. But this one's a little different. We got an email from a listener, and I was reading this going, okay, this can't be real, but it can be real, you know, because I believe people would act like this. He said, my boss found out who I was voting for in the upcoming election. I didn't tell him. Another coworker did. This coworker asked who I was voting for, so I told them. I didn't think it was a big deal. 1 hour later, I was called into my boss's office and fired.
Oof.
He told me it was because of cutbacks. I find that hard to believe. I feel like he fired me because he found out who I was voting for. I also found out from a coworker who I still talk to that there were never any cutbacks. She told me I was fired because of my political beliefs. My former boss is openly against the candidate I support, so I believe that's why I was fired. Do you think I have a legal case here?
I mean, I think it's only actionable if you can prove it.
That's your biggest problem, I think.
Because we are an at-will employment state in Ohio, meaning you can leave your job or your employer can fire you for any reason.
Well,
but there are certain protections.
Yeah, like you can't fire them for discrimination, you know, race, religion, sex.
But does politics?
I think so. Because I feel like if you said something to somebody up front, and again, I'm no lawyer, but if you said, if I was your boss, Kelly, and I said, if you don't vote for my candidate, I'm going to fire you, isn't that election interference?
Yeah, but that's also provable, isn't it? That somebody said that to you, if you recorded it, I guess.
Yeah. But if you go tell somebody and I go, well, I never said that, what are you going to do?
But I would imagine that people have been fired for illegal reasons, but they don't expressly state that's why you're being fired.
Well, no, he said
they
it was
say
for
there are cutbacks, and maybe they only needed to cut one person back. You could be the cutbacks.
Right. Now, if you got somebody there at work who's willing to testify on your behalf, you have somebody who told you were fired for that reason. You said a coworker you still talk to, she said you were fired for your political beliefs. If she's willing to take the stand and she was told that or whatever, that's going to help you prove your case.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, I know you have a right to a workplace free of discrimination. And that, to me, if it's provable, would constitute discrimination.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you prove something like that. I really don't. We'd have to hear from an attorney if that's something. Something that any attorney would be willing to take that case. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a long shot because I don't think an employer is ever going to admit that.
Yeah, I don't know. Ron texted in and asked who he was voting for. Did not say, but Ron said it's blatant discrimination. Let's see. Another text says, once the employer gives a reason for termination, they must be able to prove that reason. That was the mistake made by the employer. Also, the employer now will have to prove cutbacks happened. And you got another coworker saying they never happened.
Why do cutbacks have to constitute more than one person? Maybe you just needed to unload one salary from your overhead. That's a cutback, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but if your boss said, well, we're making cutbacks.
We're making cutbacks, and that cutbacks is you.
Virginia said, I won't even talk politics with my father, let alone people at work.
I don't understand the move to bring up politics amongst a group of people or a person where you don't know where they stand. That's an unsafe environment to bring up your politics, isn't it? Why do you want to impact your relationship by discussing politics? Now, I can see among a group of people, we all feel the same way about,
right.
Whatever.
Yeah,
and
but
we're free
boring.
to discuss it. To me, it's not boring. It is so stressful to have politics come up in a situation where there are heated people who are heated over it. It stresses me out so much. That's why I'm telling you, anybody who brought up any candidate whatsoever, I swear to you, hand on the Bible, I hid all of them on Facebook. I cannot read it. I can't see the stressful comments.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you start the name calling and the disrespect and stuff, that sucks. I mean, I love to have great political discussions with people.
Yeah, not me.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, like my daughter Lynessa and I, we'll get on the phone and we'll talk, and we have great discussions about it, and we don't agree on, we go through topics and we don't agree on them, but we don't, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. It's just, it's like sports. Like you've heard me argue with people about football. It's the same thing to me, really, but you don't have to get nasty and disrespectful, but people are so passionate, especially now. I've never seen it like this before. You
haven't?
Not no, seriously.
I feel like
this,
it lasts for 12
really?
years or so. Yeah, I feel like it's...
I mean, maybe it's the media that I haven't seen as bad as it is now. I don't know. I don't know.
I can't take it. It's all too stressful for me. And maybe because, I think most people do hold a set of beliefs. You have a belief system, and it's probably pretty important to you. And you're likely not going to convince the other person that your way of thinking is right. So why get into it? Allow people to think how they think. And I guess maybe if somebody genuinely says, what do you think about this? And why do you think this way? And I genuinely want to know. I'm not trying to lure you into a battle. To me, that's a nice way to converse.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up, and that is so true. If you got somebody who's far left and far right and they're arguing back and forth, they're not going to convince the other one. It's not like the other one's going to go, you know what, you're right.
I hadn't thought of it that way before.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to vote for the other side. No, it's never going to happen. It is never, ever. So I don't want to argue it, but I do like to discuss it. And there's a difference.
Yeah.
There is a big difference. But I'm just curious, do you guys ever have any major drama over politics in your workplace?
At work.
Yeah, I mean, did anything
dicey.
crazy ever happen at your workplace? I'd love to hear about it. Trivium on the Morning Blitz, 7:51. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, Election Day, and we were just talking about an email we got from a listener who is convinced he got fired for his political views. His boss said it was for cutbacks, but he talked to people who still work there who said it was absolutely because of who he supported, and wanted to know if he had a legal case. And I mean, if you can prove it, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing, is you got to be able to prove it.
We got a text from someone who said, my aunt was fired for voting for Obama. She did take it to court and she won a big settlement. It was in Springfield, Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Joe makes an interesting point. He says, as a society, the worst thing we've ever been told is not to talk politics or religion. Now we have a whole generation who has no idea how to have civil conversations with one another.
That's a good point, man. I always felt like they just always said that because it just would lead to fights. Whether politics or religion, either one, it would always lead to a fight. If it was people debating it, you could talk about it, like you said. If you talk about it with people who are like-minded, nothing's going to go wrong.
Right.
But if you're arguing about people who vehemently disagree with you, then you have stuff happen. Let's see. Andrew said, at a previous job, I was laid off, and it was because I was in the Army Reserve. A manager said to my face that if they laid anybody else off, they would be too short-handed when I was on my military time. If only I had recorded that conversation. Ended up being laid off for about 2 months. Yeah, because I don't think that they can do that legally. Say, well, you're in the reserve, so you're fired. I don't think they can do that. It's like, maybe he should just give you a raise and said thank you. I think that would have been better.
This person said, there's a right wing and a left wing, but they're both part of the same bird, and all that bird does is crap all over us.
Oh, all over my car, my
feel
driveway.
like that is, I understand what you're saying because it's all part of the political machine. However, if I may gently say, both sides do have wildly differing stated ideas and morals. Like people's morals, they are all over the place, and there are wildly different positions from both sides. So to say, they're all just crapping on us, to me is such a throw the baby out with the bathwater argument. It's like it kind of ends any type of sort of, I don't know, intelligent debate on it. When you're just like, forget it, they're all screwing us. Well, it's like, you can say that, but really, if you want to engage in an intelligent argument, they do both have wildly different sides to things. And you can sort of pick a side that more aligns with how you believe and say, this is why I believe this way.
Yeah, but a lot of times they'll say those things, but they don't follow through with them when they get into office. Again, I believe that, you're right. I think we as the people have those different views and different morals, but I think the politicians just use them as, topics to divide us and get their side to vote for them. I don't know that they really believe it,
Well, you're not going to get reelected then if you say you're going to do something and you believe in a certain way and then do the exact opposite when you're in office. You won't get reelected. I feel like you pick a side, these do align with your morals, and you move forward with it. To just say, I'm not going to vote because they're all politicians, to me, is such a weird move. It's a weird move to not participate.
Well, I think no matter who wins, either side is going to take my tax dollars and do whatever they want with them. They're going to waste those tax dollars no matter what. I think that's going to happen over and over again.
So that just, to me, that just cancels out any type of discussion.
That's just one thing, though. I'm just talking about what they do with our tax dollars, and they do waste our tax dollars. We see it. There's absolute factual proof that they waste our tax dollars. So that's going to happen no matter who wins.
Matt says we should absolutely not talk politics or religion. Don't do it. I'm kind of along those same lines, Matt, as I'm like, unless somebody is genuinely asking me for my opinion and I feel like I can adequately explain what my position is on something, I'm not interested in talking about it. And I'll tell you, I would say that
I get it.
I can get about knee deep into a political discussion and I'm out of my depth already. There's just so much, that I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's to me, I'd rather have peace. I don't understand the moves with the gigantic political banners. We have neighbors on both sides.
They're like cover the whole side of your garage and stuff.
Yeah, we've got a neighbor who has probably 8 or 9 political signs scattered. And there we have, these people probably have 7-8 acres, but across their frontage, multiple giant signs, like they're saying "Stop the lies" and accused people of trying to steal their signs. They have a homemade sign that says "You're a loser if you steal my signs" or something. It's weird. Then around the corner, there's the opposite side. 2 giant banners that just completely cover this big fencing. I'm like, you have to live next to these people on Wednesday. You guys have to be neighbors still.
That's great. Oh, well, you fly your colors, I guess. Robert said, anyway, back to the email, which was the original question. Robert said that person needs to file a lawsuit and have the company prove that they had cutbacks. So I guess that's your best bet, and I wish you the best of luck.
And now, all right, listener, 3 things you need to know before you go.
In the state of Ohio, you are guaranteed time off to vote today without being docked pay. Currently, 28 states and the District of Columbia have laws requiring employers to give workers time off to vote, with most stipulating that workers do not take a financial hit, and that includes Ohio. In addition to that, more than 2,000 companies have signed commitments to allow their workers time to vote on Election Day. And this year, that list includes IKEA, which, for the first time, is offering up to 2 hours of paid time off to vote today. Now, lawmakers have proposed multiple bills over the years to make Election Day a federal holiday. The latest attempt was earlier this year, and that is stalled in Congress. So that hasn't really gained too much in terms of congressional, enthusiasm, we should say. Well, because the Electoral College will ultimately decide the 2024 presidential election, the focus is on 7 battleground states. These states could swing either way, as they featured tight races in the previous 2 presidential elections. The 7 battleground states are Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Pennsylvania offering the biggest prize with 19 votes in the Electoral College. That is the most of any of the swing states. All right, a Vancouver couple who emphatically requested an explicit commitment from their Irish nanny to work until the beginning of December are suing her now because she quit without notice with 6 weeks left on her contract. So you're like, okay, well, she didn't fulfill her contract. I guess you can sue her. But their big problem, David Aaron and Gloria Garofalo's big problem with her, is that she did not say goodbye to the kids. She quit by email, and she said, "You have abandoned our children." They said this is egregious disregard to the interests of our 4-year-old and 2-year-old, that they are destroyed over this, and this absolutely qualifies as abandonment. Settle down, Canada. Although, I guess you do have to fulfill a commitment if you've signed a contract. Yeah. I don't know how she's going to get out of this, but they are suing her for damages. Wow. Now, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'll let you know. And those are your 3 things.
3 days grace. I am the weapon. It's the Morning Blitz, 8:10. Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick. We've got tickets to see Theo Von in 9 days. He'll be at the Shot on November 14th. That's a week from Thursday. And you need to listen up this hour. It will air sometime before 9 o'clock. You are listening for Kid Rock's I Am the Bull God. When you hear I Am the Bull God by Kid Rock, call 1-800-821-9970. And if you are caller number 9, we will hook you up with tickets to Theo Von's show. Again, that will happen before 9. So yesterday we were talking about Jason Kelsey because he was at the Penn State-Ohio State game. He's part of ESPN now. He works for ESPN, and they were having their, game day was there. And some guy made a gay slur about his brother Travis Kelsey because he dates Taylor, which still makes no sense. He was just being a jerk. I'm sure people were drinking and whatever. And Jason grabbed his phone and threw it down and broke it. And then Jason started saying gay slurs back to him, and it was just all stupid. And Jason was on ESPN last night for Monday Night Countdown before the Monday Night Football game. And, normally I feel like these guys, they get these prepared statements they're going to make after something like this happens when they apologize. But
yeah, they talk to their PR team.
Yeah. This to me was just Jason decided he was going to go ahead and just say something about it right now, meaning last night. And I'm watching him. I'm like, he wasn't reading anything. I think he was just being genuine here.
Listen, I think everybody's seen on social media everything that took place this week. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not happy with anything that took place. I'm not proud of it. And, in a heated moment, I chose to greet hate with hate. And I just don't think that that's a productive thing. I really don't. I don't think that, it leads to discourse, and it's the right way to go about things. And in that moment, I fell down to a level that I shouldn't have. So I think the bottom line is I try to live my life by the golden rule. That's what I've always been taught. I try to treat people with common decency and respect, and I'm going to keep doing that moving forward, even though I fell short this week.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like a PR written statement to me.
No, it doesn't. That sounded really genuine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think the common PR thing is to express what you did wrong, accept responsibility for what you did wrong,
Yeah.
and then talk about how you're going to move
Right.
forward, which is, he covered all those points.
Right. But I don't think that was pre-written. I think that was just him
I don't
speaking
either.
freely.
And I will say, I think public opinion was all on his side anyway after that debacle.
Yeah.
I really think that most people were like, that guy should absolutely
Yeah.
never have gotten in his face with his cell phone.
Right.
And he started yelling and slurs at him.
Right.
So, we can all sympathize with somebody having an emotional response
Sure.
back to somebody who's like
Yeah,
yelling
and
at you.
I liked the way he referred to it too. He says, "I brought hate against hate.
Yeah, I don't like to.
I
Yeah,
shouldn't have brought hate against hate."
yeah. I like that too. That was great.
Yeah, I hate the Eagles, but I can't help but like Jason Kelsey. Seriously.
It's the Morning Blitz.
It's time for another edition of Normal or No.
Ooh, I'm excited. I don't know what this is.
Good morning.
It's gonna be a surprise.
It is 8:24 with Thick and Kelly on the Morning Blitz. And we just have one normal or nope this morning. This one's just too good.
Okay.
Normal or nope? Having, quote, your stall in the bathroom at work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's absolutely normal.
You always use the same one.
Always, unless it's occupied.
And what do you do then?
Well, it's the middle stall, so
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to one of their three stalls. So.
Oh, no. I will leave that bathroom and come back.
Is that right?
Yes.
You won't even go.
No.
Even if there's a fresh, warm butt had sat there and you can feel the warmth if you sit
that
down.
just sounds... Ooh,
I'm just saying.
yuck.
Like you have fresh butt.
I hate to think about that.
Fresh booty on that toilet seat, and you're going to sit down, still going to be pretty warm.
Oh, Kelly, you can't. No.
So I'm just saying, choose another one, and then in your mind, at least you can convince yourself that it's been cleaned recently.
What?
You got to play mind games with yourself.
Oh, my
all right?
gosh. I can't think about somebody else's butt on that seat that warmed
Plus,
it up for me.
You know there's spray, too, when it flushes, so there's,
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's going to be wet and warm, buddy. Enjoy.
Why? You just... how can you do that to me? I mean, yeah, if I go in and somebody else is using it, I will walk out and I'll come back. And I'll wait till it cools off. Kelly did
There's
that
a
to
cooling
me.
period. Yeah.
Carrie's dying over that fresh, warm butt.
Well, just saying, am I right or wrong?
Oh, my gosh. What do you guys think? 99,700.
I love the middle stall. I just love it. It just feels like you're the center of the universe there. You can relax in the center stall. You can have a wide stance, especially if nobody else is in there. Oh,
Yeah, you better only have it if nobody else
you
is
can
in there.
kick back, you can lean back. Oh my gosh,
Lean
it's
back.
glorious.
Doug Rogers says, "Yeah, Rick, fresh butt juice."
That's right. You don't know you don't know if that's toilet flush spray or juice. You don't know what it is, but
Nate-
you're sitting in it.
Nate says, "Man, Kelly really shocked the S out of me." Let's see here. Oh, here's one. There's one guy that comes in and has a full-blown cell conversation with his wife in the stall. What the F, dude? Just want to let you know you guys are awesome. That's from Murphy.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I will talk on the phone if I'm in the bathroom, but not if anybody else is in there. I won't do that in front of anybody because I'm okay to like exploit my own bathroom situation, but I'm not going to do it to you. So,
Okay.
But I don't care. I'll keep going on a conversation if I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm always uptown. You're going midtown.
I'm midtown, baby.
Because you have three
Three.
in the women's room. I've never been in the women's restroom, so I didn't
Oh,
know.
would you like me to take you on a tour? It's pretty nice.
Is it?
Yeah, we have a little sitting room.
I am kind of. You have a sitting room.
Sitting room.
What the what?
With pink Naugahyde furniture and a big full-length mirror. It's amazing, man. You've never been in there in all your years at the Blitz.
No,
I will take
it's a
you on
women's
tour.
restroom. I would never go in there.
I
I don't
will
want to end
take-
up on some list.
Tomorrow morning, when I'm the only female in the building, before anybody else gets here, you and I are going on a tour. A guided tour of the women's restroom.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I won't
Listen.
get in trouble for that, right?
No.
I don't know. It's
You have
women's
full
restroom.
permission.
I know, but
full permission.
a sitting room.
That's right. And sometimes if I have to go to the bathroom, there's somebody in the sitting room sitting there hanging out on the phone. And you know what? I applaud it. It's comfy and it's private.
What the hell? All these years I didn't know about
That's
an
right.
It's always been that way.
Yes, it's always been that way. And furthermore,
Sitting room.
I just was walking in yesterday when one of our fine employees at NABCO was plunging out the sink because apparently it was backed up. So we have a freshly plunged sink in there as well. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it's a classy situation. I can't wait for you to see it tomorrow morning.
We just got a text us. Is this the Blitz? Yes, this is the Blitz. All right, let's see. This one says, this is John, says, I have my own spot and it's well known at work. Pretty much the same time every day. It's the clowns that grab the stall next to you, recognize your shoes, and start a conversation. That will stop your, quote, progress every time.
Yeah, if there's a big line of stalls and they're all open except one, you can't take the one right next door. It's kind of like at the gym. If there are 50 treadmills and somebody's on one, you can't take next to them. It's common frickin' courtesy. All right? Let's give each other just a little bit of personal space.
All right, let's see. We got another one here. It says, totally normal. I have a stall at work. Once I really needed to go and someone was using it. I was frustrated, so I went to another bathroom to use my other stall. So he's got another stall in the other bathroom. But before I left, I made sure my frustration was felt. Oh, dude, I switched off the light before leaving, so the stall thief was left in the dark.
Oh,
you
that's
can't.
cold.
No, dude, you don't own the stall. I understand you always want that stall, but you don't own it. You cannot leave somebody in the dark on the toilet. That is hilarious, but it's evil.
I kind of like mood lighting, though. I will tell you that. I like a little mood lighting. We have like dimmable lights. Is that what you call it? When you can dim and like so we have those in our bathroom. I like a dim bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody said you're not supposed to use the plunger in the sink. Well, let me
I
tell
didn't
you
think you
something.
were.
Our sinks are working amazingly right now, so I beg to differ. Whoever used that plunger did a great job.
Oh, look at Buck. Look at Buck. I have a private bathroom at work with a number padlock.
Oh, good for you.
Is there a chandelier in there, Buck?
Kid Rock, I am the Bull God. 8:41. It's the Morning Blitz. That's Kelly Quinn. I'm Thick Rick. And I don't understand this. Why you would have to tip a robot.
You wouldn't. Next subject.
I know.
What's the sitch?
I mean, well, tipping, tipping's already, it's such a big thing, and we've talked about it numerous times. Do you know, by the way, the number one person we won't tip?
Who?
Our mechanic, our automobile mechanic. And of course we wouldn't tip the mechanic. They already charge us a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, I feel like you're building in the tip.
I know. Why would you even think to tip the mechanic, I guess?
Man, I don't know,
silly.
man. It's
Anyway.
like if you really want to have a great relationship with somebody, maybe you give them a tip every now and again. Maybe you give them a Christmas gift, something like that, just to keep a good relationship with somebody who's really doing great work for you.
Right.
I don't know. I can see an argument for tipping mechanics.
And it's funny, the people who will tip when they get a carryout order, they'll give a tip for a carryout order.
Yeah.
But they won't tip a fast food worker. What's the difference? They're both preparing your food. You're walking in, you're picking it up, you're leaving. What's the difference?
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
You mean like if you carry out at Bob Evans versus carrying out at Wendy's?
Right. What's the difference? I don't see any difference.
I don't see any difference either.
But they refuse to tip the fast food worker. So.
Oh, I think you should tip them more. if we're handing out tips.
You're right. Anyway, so now we add robots to the mix.
Yeah, and tell me an example of this.
Okay, so there's this lady on TikTok. She goes by Mother Nature. And there was and she was dining at this restaurant, and there's this robot server, and it's actually pretty cool. It, it's not like as tall as a person. It's probably 4 4 to 5 feet tall, and it's got like 3 shelves on it.
Yeah.
And then at the top, it's got a screen. So it wheels over to your table. You type in on the screen what you want, and later it comes back with your food on the trays.
Yes.
Okay, simple, right? Well, here's Mother Nature on TikTok talking about her experience.
How much of a tip would you leave for this? Okay, so I took my own order and I ordered water instead of a cocktail. A robot brought me my food before it scurried away. Now, I admit the food was quite tasty, but the suggested tip is anywhere from $13 to $18.69. What would you tip?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's they want you to tip the robot?
Is there there's a human involved only in the, like, assembling of the food?
Yeah, I'm putting it on the trays, but
they're getting paid to do that.
Yeah, the cooks aren't back there getting tipped. Now, I guess
they're not
I shouldn't
making
say
under.
that.
I mean, okay,
under minimum.
Under minimum.
Right.
Yeah, they're making.
That's where tips began. That's how it all started. Is they were paid less than minimum wage to be a server, so you tip them to get them up to above minimum wage. That was the whole point of this. That and hotel bellhops were the same situation.
Okay.
You know, you could pay them less because they were going to make tips. When they took your bags up to your room. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, like the airport people, the car, the bell, what are they called? They take your luggage from your car and help you check it and all that at the airport.
Oh.
You know those dudes?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
you mean
them.
at the baggage counter?
Always have a $5 or a $10.
At the baggage counter? Yeah, I've never tipped them.
Are you kidding?
They're making over minimum wage.
I really don't want to drag my heavy luggage. Please help me.
Oh, okay.
Stick that on a dolly and roll that for me. I pay for that service.
Okay.
I'm that lazy.
All right, so the number of robot waiters and servers being employed across not just the U.S., but the world at large just keeps growing. In 2023, CBS reported that over 10,000, I had no idea because I've yet to see one in person, over 10,000 robots from a California-based company are employed throughout the U.S. Employed. You mean purchased and used?
Right.
Are you taxing these robots? Is that why we have to give them a tip? Another China-based company has 66,000 robots out there. And you know, there's always the fear about these robots replacing humans, and folks say that's such a long way away and unlikely to happen at all. And but you know, so many people said there's no way they're going to tip this robot. You know, zero. If they want to replace workers with robots to save money, then we should be able to save money and not tip.
Yeah,
Plus,
we get to save money on our end too.
Yeah. Plus, they usually up the menu prices, assuming no tips are going to be left. Well, I mean, I guess you're assuming that. Let's see. Tipping is supposed to go to the servers who make less than minimum wage. Exactly. If there's no server, then chances are those tips are going to the owners. I'm not tipping owners for automating jobs. Another one said, nothing. What am I tipping? The electric bill? One person, and then another person said, I'll tip 2 AAA batteries. How's that?
Well,
that's about $10, man.
Do they still do I think Uber Eats or whatever delivery robots on campus at Ohio State? Do they still do those?
Oh, I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah.
A robot is an Uber Eat?
What it does require is a human being to prep the food and then bring the food out to the robot and then put it in the robot and then program it to go to your residence and deliver it to you. Now, I don't know how much money that person's making to do all that. Maybe that's where the tip comes in. I wouldn't tip a robot. If I'm not staring a person in the face who looks like, you know, man, could you tip me? That'd really make my day. Until you put eyeballs on robots, I'm not tipping them. I'm not tipping a little
eyeballs on them?
I'm not tipping a rolling box, okay?
Now, Keith said that tips are meant to be given before the service in order to ensure proper service.
Well,
is that true?
I don't know, but I will tell you that if I'm asked for a tip before service, that I do think about that.
Yeah, I know.
I do think
that's terrible that we have to feel that way.
I mean,
how about I'm paying for something, give me what I'm paying for?
I think that's how, like, Uber Eats, and, Instacart and all that, isn't that how you choose what orders you're going to take?
I would imagine.
Based on what's being promised to you money-wise?
Or
no?
is that do you get that information before you pick? I don't think you should.
Yeah.
I don't think you should know the tip before you pick the order.
No, I disagree.
Well,
anybody who's cheap.
Yeah, I know, but then then the company that they're ordering food from is going to miss out because they're not going to get their food.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I don't know how you work that out. I mean, this is I think a lot of this stuff is still being
figured out.
Fine-tuned and everything, because we haven't been in this world really that long when you think about it.
Right.
Of Uber Eats and all this kind of stuff. But we sure seem to have rushed into the world of we're tipping everybody. No. Why?
Naomi said Red Cap is the baggage helper at the airport.
Oh, they have an actual name.
Love a
That's
Red
the
Cap.
name of the job, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not tipping a robot. I mean, I think that's out of the question, right?
I agree.
Stained on the Morning Blitz, 8:53. That's Kelly Quinn. I'm Thick Rick. We were talking about tipping robots, and everybody. It's all bipartisan on that, Kelly. Nobody's tipping the robots.
Okay, we're all in agreement.
Look at that. See,
Look
on
at that.
Election Day, we all agree on this thing.
Yes,
I love it. That is the best thing ever. The worst thing, maybe. I just showed Kelly this video that happened in Peru. There was a game of soccer going on. They had a storm approaching, so they called for a weather delay. And as they're leaving the field to go to the locker room, lightning strikes one of the players, killing that player instantly. But it's crazy to watch the video because 8 other players, when that lightning hit the one player, 8 players froze and fell straight over.
Yes.
Like you just cut down a tree.
Like dominoes.
Yeah, like dominoes.
It's the craziest thing. It's like a crack of lightning. You can Google it. Just Google Peru soccer lightning.
Oh, and they just all in unison.
Yeah.
8 of them in unison just fall straight over, and the one that got the direct hit died. I'm like, I don't know how that works with lightning. I don't know. Maybe they're wearing metal cleats. It went through the ground. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, who knows? But they all exactly the same. They fell the exact same way, almost at the same exact time.
It looked like something out of a movie.
It was very weird. It's so weird. You have to see the video.
Yeah. So it was a 39-year-old soccer player that died. His name is Jose Hugo de la Cruz Meza. And the other 8, they all went to the hospital to get checked out, but they all survived. Some of them had serious burns. They were just 22 minutes into the match, and they called for the weather delay, and they were heading off the field to go to the locker room.
They say they think the one who was killed was wearing a bracelet, and the lightning hit the bracelet.
And that's all it takes. That's all it takes.
What a wild video. I've never seen anything like that.
It's hard to watch, but I can't stop watching it. It's just, you just think, this can really happen like this. So, I can't tell you if you want to get it quick on X. There's a guy named Mario Nawfal, Nawfal. If you look him up, it's the first thing you'll see on his X post. Mario Nawfal. So, did you say it's on YouTube?
If you Google it, it's the first thing that comes up on Google. Yeah, just Google Peru soccer lightning. You'll see it. It's crazy.
Now, all right, listener. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Americans continue to vote based largely on the needs of 19th century farmers. Election Day lands on the day deemed most convenient for those legally allowed to vote in 1845, and most of them were farmers. As the most common occupation 179 years ago was farming, and many attended church on Sunday, but also needed a full day to ride into town to vote, Congress went with the Tuesday after the first Monday in November, when most planting and harvesting were done.
It still blew my mind when you told me about this, and
weird?
that they need to get started on Monday to have a travel day to get to their polling place.
If you're hoofing it, it's going to take a while to get into town.
Crazy.
Forecasters say Tropical Storm Rafael is expected to approach the southern U.S. later this week. Rafael was upgraded from a disturbance in the Caribbean yesterday afternoon. It's the 17th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season and is expected to become the 11th hurricane National Hurricane Center says the lower and middle Florida Keys could experience tropical storm conditions beginning late Wednesday or Wednesday night. Okay, for your pets, obviously standard time is not feeling so standard. They're used to daylight saving time, and anytime you're a creature of habit, which dogs are, changes to the routine can really rattle your sense of well-being. And this includes our furry friends. Vets say dogs are extra sensitive to our 2 time changes, and their rhythm is synced to sunrise and sunset. And now bedtime, meal times, and walk times are all at different times than they're used to. It might just be adjusted an hour, but that's enough to really rattle them. And I will tell you from firsthand experience, my dog was acting so weird yesterday.
Really?
Moses was so bizarre. He couldn't really settle.
That's so odd
for
to
the
me.
evening. He is so regimented with the times that he will be in your face at exactly his breakfast, lunch, and dinner times.
That's amazing. That's pretty amazing, really. When you
He
think
knows
about it.
exactly when it's time for his morning walk. He knows exactly when it's time for his afternoon walk, and he goes to bed. He will trot up on his own and jump up in bed at the same time every single day. So yesterday, I'm still working. I work till 6:10 p.m. Right? Well, to him, it's 7:10 p.m.
Right.
He can't figure out why we're not all cuddling on the couch. This dog was kind of anxious. He was up and down and wandering around and staring at us and what is happening? So it's bizarre. He's not settled yet, for sure.
I was fishing yesterday afternoon, and we're out on the lake, and I'm like, man, I thought it would be darker by now.
Yeah.
It should be darker.
Yeah.
And then I realized I had not changed the time on the boat clock.
Oh.
And I'm looking at the boat clock, so my time, and I'm like, oh, it's only 5:15. Or now, it's getting dark.
Right. You're thinking it should be
I thought it
almost
was
pitch black.
6:15. Yeah.
That's right. All right, guys. Anyway, vets say maybe take a little extra care for your pets. Maybe get up a little earlier and just ease them into the later meal time for their poor little doggy brains.
They can't handle it either.
They can't. We're all so sensitive.
Oh, my God. I know.
We all need a giant hug.
Oh, please.
All right. Anyway, go vote. Polls are open until 7:30 this evening. Bring a piece of ID. You'll need it. And those are your 3 things.
A hug.
A hug.